You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always, my good friend
Shannon G and Miss AZ.
And we are excited to have Gary Holderness with us. He owns a company called G.Willikers, I think. Hey, Gary, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We are excited. So maybe from some of our last podcast, Scott Berryman, who had come up here and gone to Winter Warbirds, we were transporting some airplanes back and forth, and he actually wound up buying me these little sleeves that go over the bungees or the cords that I hold, my aircraft down with. And he had seen the system that I was using, and I have little eyelets in my trailer, and I kind of go through. And so he bought me some of these, and he brought them to me. He's like, "Hey, I got a bunch of these for you." And so I was like, "Hey, those are pretty cool." Kind of used them, and then basically was able to kind of fall in love with these things. I thought they were really convenient. They come apart, and then you just wrap them around. I'll show you how they work here, but you kind of just open them up, wrap them around, and then you can do one, or then you can slide it through. There's two there, or actually, yeah, right here. So you can either slide it through or wrap it around. Anyway, I thought they were great. He bought me a whole bunch, and now they're all over my airplanes. And so as a result, he got in touch with Gary, and like I said, Gary owns a company called G.Willikers, and so Gary was nice enough to send me these foam trays. And so I've been able to kind of use them, move them around my shop, set different stuff on them. I've had a couple of jets sitting on them, and I've had this warbird project. Have a bearcat in the background, and yeah, it's been really great. So Gary, why don't you kind of take us through how you got started with this project? How long have you been in the RC to begin with? You've been doing it a long time?
Yes. Well, I started back in 1980. My wife bought me a March Model Wanderer
Oh,
for
nice.
my birthday, and we
Very
lived
nice.
in
Old school.
Orange County, California.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so we'd go down to Salt Creek and fly on the bluffs,
right.
and then when the Ritz-Carlton moved in, you moved to other spots,
Sure.
Slope Soaring is where I started off, and
Gotcha.
then got into pattern, and I flew at Mile Square Park, and we had a field at Camp Pendleton also.
Oh,
Uh,
very nice.
and then we went to the big stuff came out, and I go, wow, this is great.
Yeah,
And we
no
started
doubt.
going to as soon as the gas motors started coming out, we started
Hmm.
flying big RC stuff.
Wow.
And then my son got into it, and he was a sponsored pilot when he was like 10. And
Wow.
so he flew IMAC and everything. As the airplanes got bigger, we went from a van to a trailer. And once we moved into a trailer and started transporting everything on the PVC racks, every time we come home, I'd have to repair airplanes.
Yep, I
And
understand that.
Mm-hmm.
and so he went to work at a foam plant. And so I sat down with the owner and brought in my Zeroli Corsair. And I said, "What can we do to protect this?" And we went to work on it, and I made stuff just for myself.
Hmm.
And then I said, "Well, these things are pretty cool. I wonder if they sell."
Sure.
And so I sent some out to, I don't know if you know Wally Warren down in Houston,
Okay.
and Billy Trosclair's in Louisiana. And I just sent them out and uh, got a big start at Bomber Field for the big fly-in they have once a year down
Oh,
there. And
nice.
so we've been selling them ever since.
Very nice.
Cool.
That is very cool. Now, is what is the foam that they're made of? It's a closed cell or open cell?
It's a close sell,
Okay.
and the neoprene on top's a silicone
Okay.
neoprene, and
Yeah, I did.
we had a problem. The main problem with that, I've had like tried to get like three different suppliers, but
Mhm.
there's only one glue that'll hold the two in the heat. And so we had to
Oh,
measure everything. I tried to put everything like 140 degrees, make sure it would
Mm,
hold because a trailer down in Texas is going to get that hot.
true.
And and so over
And in
time, heat's your
Arizona.
biggest enemy. Yeah, Arizona too.
It's gonna.
So anyway, we got all the bugs out, and the product's been uh, doing great for 6, 7 years now.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, I actually like the foam. It's very similar to some of the ones that I've created on my own. This is way better. Of course, I just took a foam cutter and a hot wire and kind of made mine, and just they're out of a smaller. This is really thick and tall, and then I like the neoprene. It keeps it from kind of crushing the foam.
Yeah, and
My
it's
big
kind of
jet,
grippy too.
yeah,
So the things
my
don't slide on it.
right, yeah, my big jet has some of some of the same foam, but it doesn't have anything on it, and it'll start sinking down into it, kind of squish it. So, and then it doesn't really slide around because I get it locked down pretty good. But I do like these, and I had my jet sitting on it, and it fit perfect. So it doesn't look like it's going to move in the
Yeah.
trailer. So that's kind of cool. Um, it is very, very, very impressive. I was very thankful that you sent me a set to kind of look at. So I haven't gone out. Most of the trailer has Scott's airplanes in it, so I got to go out there and remove all
Big shocker.
remove all his and put the foam in there and say get mine in there. But I haven't pulled his
It's
out since Winter Warbirds.
Yeah, it's funny because Scott bought an airplane from a fella that lives a couple miles from me, and
Yes,
that's how we all got connected. And
I gotcha.
that's really how most of my business is,
Mm-hmm.
from friends to friends to friends,
Sure,
Nice.
sure,
and
sure.
That's the way it
that's
should
been
be.
pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he bought more than one. I think there was several in that transaction, so it's kind of
yeah,
weird. It's like
yeah.
because I'm probably gonna. I think they're on their way here. I'm gonna wind up with several of them here in the shop. So we're gonna probably put some of them together and then go fly them. So we're excited about
Should we
that.
start a GoFundMe to get his own shop? Because
Yeah, I know. Well, he could. He's I called him actually, talked to him this weekend, and he was moving some stuff out of his garage and trying to, get a little more organized. So he's got a little time off from work, and he was just calling me going, "Yeah, I'm moving some stuff," and he's got his trailer at the house now, and he's trying to figure out if he wants to drive it down and pick all the planes up. So we'll see how that goes. So he may be getting a bunch of these because he's got a few of them there as well. So now you got a great website. Where can people go to see this incredible product?
Well, it's G.Willikers Aero Accessories.com.
Okay,
And
and
if you pop in, search out G.Willikers Aero, you should be able to get
mhm.
to it pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah,
I found it easy. So
yeah, it was a very easy. I think I have a brochure up there. It's kind of sitting there next to the airplane. But how did you come up with the name G.Willikers?
Well, I'm Gary and my son's Will. And so,
Oh,
that's
and so
there you
I was
have
just
it.
trying to put,
aha.
I was Gary and Will, and then also I said, gee, Will. I go, gee, Willikers. And it just stuck.
Well, that's an awesome name. Scott was telling me about it, and I was like, okay, I was looking it up, and I was like, what? What is this called? And anyway, that makes a lot more sense now. So it's a perfect name, and these accessories. Now you sell more than just these, right? You got you got more products that you sell, or
Yeah, we've got, for the small 20 to 50 cc airplanes like the
mm-hmm.
Seagull models and stuff, we've got cradles for like 2 meter jets.
Mm-hmm.
We got the same cradles that you have, but taller. So if people want to be able to operate their retracts up and down,
Oh, very nice.
or if you have a three-blade propeller that you want
Right,
clearance for,
right.
uh, the taller ones. And then we kind of dabble in some of the BVM stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have F-86, F-18, F-16s, the Renegade, and I think that's about it on that. And then we have like a belly block that you can put like for your 3D airplanes. You
Mm-hmm.
put it under the gear to lift, so the gear's not taking all the weight from
The
being
weight,
tracked
right,
down.
Cool.
We got foam under it, and there's
right.
also foam blocks that put the tail on just for the 3D airplanes.
So that you
So
get it to where it sits level instead of sitting
yeah, and there's
tail
no
loop.
pressure
Mm-hmm.
on the tail wheel.
That will,
Yeah.
right?
Nice.
So
So we tried to
very cool.
cover pretty much everything that people have asked for.
Yeah.
And
I like those with the wing cradles because I know transporting wings or just
Yes, those are
storing them is
trouble.
a challenge,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
I like how they got the kind of they got the contour that covers a couple
Mhm.
different sizes. And I was talking with Gary beforehand. I was like, I got a lot of the smaller free wing jets, and I know he's got the big one for the BVM, but like a smaller one for the free wing. There's a lot of like they got that big fat rear end, like the Tomcat and the
Mhm.
MiG, and if you had something like that to kind of hold them in, that'd be kind of cool. But definitely, you got
Yeah.
some really cool stuff, and excited to try some stuff out myself.
Yeah, it is very neat. Shannon hasn't had a chance to see these because I've been taking all of it, testing them all in my shop. I got to get him. I'll get him down to him so he can kind of see them and handle them himself. But I've actually been out of town, so when I got back in, I got to get him down there to him. But they're a great product, and the neoprene is a great idea. Like I said, I've used this type of foam before many times. I've made my own cradles, but I never really thought about putting the neoprene on top. And how did you come about thinking that would be a good way to put anti-slip on it?
well, actually, it came from the owner of the foam factory. He
Okay.
said, you ought to cover that in neoprene so that things don't slide around.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
there you go.
and then yeah, so I just okay, take it from the expert,
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
uh, and
Huh.
and it does. It makes it makes it functional and makes it look nice, and it
Hmm.
keeps it you know clean on top, and
Yeah,
it's just a
absolutely.
nice finish.
Yeah. Well, I really liked it. Like I said, there's a foam company here that makes these types of foam blocks in big sections. Like 8 by 8. I think I bought mine at 6 by 8 or something. It was a big sheet. And
Yeah.
but I wish that guy would have said something like that. But now it's a great idea that you have. Now I don't have to cut them myself. I can just order them from you. Now, do you do custom work? Like if somebody had a custom airplane and you could say, hey, can you make me some of these, or is it just pretty standard?
Pretty standard. Well, the custom stuff it kind of drove when I was just starting off. It drove those guys out to plant crazy,
Okay,
you know. And
gotcha.
so what we agreed upon was um, 1 hour of the CAD guy putting all the measurements into the system. So 1 hour his time, and then 10 sets, minimum 10 sets to run off.
Oh, gotcha.
So I got to be pretty sure that there's a lot
Yeah,
of
you're gonna
airplanes
sell,
out there.
right?
A lot
Gotcha.
of the guys that have P-38s are after me to make something, but there's just not that many out there,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and yeah, there's
that's
actually a
what we,
Zeroli P38. Luckily, it's not in my shop at the moment. Somebody else has it. They're putting some work into it, but yeah,
what a nice airplane.
Scott owns that one too, and it's it's here. So yeah, it's I don't know if it's gonna stay here. He was talking about selling it the other day, but yeah, there's a Zeroli, and I actually have a Zeroli Bearcat. It's you can't see the wings; they're over on the other table, but it's here as well. And then this is a Bates Bearcat as well
I
from
like the
Vic.
base products. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bates. I happened to it, or happened to get into it with just I lucked into it, and it was just one of those where I was looking for a Bearcat, and Shannon had someone that had one, and I wound up getting that one, and then literally a month later, this one came available,
Yep.
and I couldn't pass it up. It just was too good of a deal, and it was at an auction. I made a bid on it, and it was a ridiculously low bid, and I got it. So I was, I was like, oh
Yeah.
man. So now I got 2 projects. I was like, I got more projects than I know what to do with,
Yeah.
but
How do you
but it's
source
it's nice with them.
the retracts for those?
So the retracts for the Bearcat, the Zeroli Bearcat has Robart, so they're just the straight Robart ones.
Okay, so you already have them. What do fellows do
Yeah.
that don't have retracts?
Right.
That is,
So the Bates version for Vic, those are Sierra Giants.
okay.
Have you seen those at all? The Sierra
No, I
Giant?
haven't. I've gotten some tail wheels and stuff from him.
All right, hold on. Ask him a question there, and I'll go get these real quick while you're talking.
So the sport guys, like, what have they been? They've been getting like the 20, the 50cc ones. Does that seem like the pretty much the kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're really nice, and the shipping's pretty cheap on them, so it's really they're pretty inexpensive.
Okay, cool.
Uh, and so if you have anything like a fifth scale Top Flight P51 and down,
Okay,
most of the Legend Hobby Seagull stuff will fit on
cool.
those.
So you can look it up online. The name of the company is called Sierra Giant, and they are they're a machine shop. So because it's a fifth scale, this is the tail wheel for the Bearcat, and they have machined all of this to where it actually, if you have this, it'll fold, right? Well, I can't get it to fold because it's already locked, but it comes out. There you go. Now it'll fold, so it folds up and
Nice.
down. So it's got really nice action to it. It's all aluminum. It's super lightweight. They've got a pretty big tail wheel on it. But their main gear for the Bearcat is all machined, and they've machined it off of the actual Bearcat. So when this thing comes out, it actually works just like the Bearcat. So it drops it locks in with this piston, then it actually comes up and folds inside so that it looks just like the real it
Cool.
actually does a real Bearcat.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, they're almost as much as the airplane, but they were definitely worth it for that particular project. So once again, it was a good source for me. Vic actually had a pair, and I was like, I'll take them just with the tail wheel as well. So yeah,
Nice.
it was a little more than I was wanting to spend, but I saved so much on the kit that it worked out that it was pretty much I got everything for what that kit would have cost me just for the kit. So
Perfect.
luckily it was at a charity, it was for charity, and I donated. He had donated it for the charity auction, and I actually, like I said, I did something ridiculously low, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do that," and so he and I worked a deal on the side, and I wound up getting the whole thing. So I was willing to do it for charity, but he didn't want to. He was like, "I'm not losing money on it. I got to at least cover my costs." So it was a good deal for us. But those foam blocks are perfect for that. They hold it up exactly level, and I like the way that you have one that's deeper for the front side and a narrow one for the back. It just keeps it at that level, and being able to strap it down, and ride like that would be awesome. So the only thing that I that I have to worry about for me is I have 2 shelves in my trailer. And if I put this one on the bottom shelf, it may work. But if I tried to put it on the top shelf, it may be too tall. The tail may hit the roof. So I'd have to look and see if. But I'm pretty sure they'll fit on the bottom shelf, no problem at all. And they'll fit in the back of the truck, which I did see a picture of. Somebody had. I was doing some research, and somebody actually had those in the back of the bed of their truck with their airplane sitting on it and strapped down, and it seemed like it was riding perfect.
Oh yeah, there's no problem at all.
Yeah, cool. And I have airplanes that have like body bags on, like a whole fuselage bag, and they ride in the truck. But they still, when I take them out, I'll see little dings in them from sliding around or getting bouncing or something. It'll have some kind of a hanger rash on it, which sometimes gives it character, sometimes irritates me. It depends on which airplane it is.
The latter for me.
Yeah, some of the foam airplanes, I'm like, it's foam. It's already, it looks beat up already. But then, some of my airplanes, I'm like, dang it, there's a lot of money there, and I just got dinged up, and I got to fix it. So I don't want it to look too original. So, but anyway,
we're all masters with an airbrush now.
That's true. Yeah, I got a whole airbrush station over here, so that is very, very true. Yeah, get some good paint and fix it, but that's exciting, and it's so where's your son? How old's your son now? As you said, he was 10 when he was.
Oh yeah, he's in his mid-30s.
Oh, okay. So we're he's got. Is he still fly RC?
Yeah, he still flies,
Okay.
and we tried to get his son, my grandson, but he's only 7. He's too young yet. So
oh yeah, still
never too young to start.
Well, he comes with us to the fields, but
Yeah.
well, we're still in the car stage.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Still getting
gotcha.
used to some kind of RC.
Right. Yeah, we've actually had some people here in Phoenix. We've got several world champions that live, in our neighborhood. Seems to be a good place to come retire from some of these guys. But we've got a lot of big names around, and to watch those kids grow up, or even now their kids are coming along, and how many kids do we have at the last event we were at your field? There was like 10, right?
Oh yeah, we had a bunch of
Yeah.
kids, and they made it on the news, and that was really
Yeah.
cool to have like the
Yeah.
kids be the focal point of the news story.
Right.
So it's exciting to get them in at that age.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very, very cool. So, do you have any other projects on the line or something out in the future? You're just going to kind of stick with this, or?
I'll probably just stick with this, and yeah, that's about it. This is good for me,
Good for you for the moment.
There you go.
It's not,
Yeah.
not ready to blow this out and expand it into $1 million enterprise.
No.
That's funny.
Good.
That is funny there.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Tell us a little bit about the wing cradles too, because that's something that we haven't mentioned so far. But you do have some of those, and they
I've
they
got
are for.
actually two sets of the wing cradles. One is for like uh, we had a Zeroli Hellcat with
Mhm.
one-piece wing, and the P-51 top flight's a one-piece wing. So we designed those pretty much so you could stand them up in the trailer and
Mhm.
and like bungee them to the wall.
Okay.
Or if you had a shelf, you could lay them down on the shelves and stack others on top.
Mhm.
So all your wings are stackable. Uh, because getting a wing bag for a one-piece wing is just no good.
Yeah, it's tough.
You
I
know.
know how that is. It
And
is.
then also I've got a couple Balsa USA third scale Cubs,
Mhm.
and so I've made a wing carrier uh, for that, so the wings can go in and you can stand them up, uh,
And the
or
and the,
you can stand 'em straight up and down like at the house. Uh, but when you transport them, you would transport so they're horizontal, and
okay.
you have PVC top and bottom to hold them, so you can just kind of pick them up and carry them wherever you want to go, or strap them
Yeah,
down the back of a pickup truck.
that's pretty cool. It's got like a little handle on it, right? You just kind of pick them up
Yes,
and move them
yeah,
around. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I did see that on your website that you had some wing carriers, I think is what you call them,
yeah.
cradle carriers. So on you have a photo for the wing ones on your website, and it looks like there's two. And so you're telling me that's they're two singles stacked on top of each other, is what you're saying. It's not one that you can put two wings in.
Well, there you get two wing cradles for each wing, so two pieces is
Right,
for
but
the
that
stack.
what on the picture shows
Two wings.
two wings sitting on top of each other, like they're
Yeah,
sandwiched
I think
together.
that's for my yeah, that's I think a picture of my Pawnee third scale Pawnee wings.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, yeah. Well, at first I was thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. You can stack them. You can. I thought it was like a
yeah,
big piece of foam that you could slide wings into, but you're saying it's just the two cradles, and then they stack
yeah,
on top of the other two cradles, which
yes,
is that's even better because then you can remove one or carry one or put two or three or four on top of each other and
yeah,
make it work. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and they'll
yeah,
fit vertically, like vertically or horizontally, either way, right?
yes, uh-huh.
Okay, huh.
Yeah,
That's
like we
interesting.
usually if we're gonna transport them on the shelf, like we have a shelf, we'll
Hmm.
stack them. Uh, but if we have an airplane up there, then we'll just stand them up against the wall and bungee them to the wall of the trailer.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
So do they
either way.
slide on from the ends and or do they
Yeah, the back
are they
end is
open on the?
open. The back end
Okay,
is
so you
open. So
slide them in like a envelope, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, that's very very cool. That would be good for your T-28 Trojan there, Shannon.
That would be really cool for my T-20 Trojan.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I actually pull my wing apart, but if I got those, I'd be able to
I
just leave it
I
together.
can't stand pulling that wing apart. I leave it together, and it barely fits in the back of my truck, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear you. That is very cool. Now, I think your website also has some other little items on it. I think I saw some Dubro products and some other type stuff that you carry.
Yeah, some Dubro and a little bit of glue and Zap and
Okay.
whatever you might need. It doesn't you know cost you any more shipping. You just toss it inside the
Right.
box.
Just
Good
toss
deal.
it
Uh,
in there.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I try
Cool.
to get
Yeah.
the ball links and the ball
Right.
drivers and stuff that everybody uses.
Right. Right.
So
Right. And then you have one more product called a nose protector, and that it looks like it's a little. Is it a rubber piece or is that foam as well?
it's foam and uh, the inside of it, uh, it's a die cut foam.
Oh,
So
okay.
we could pull rings out of the centers to fit whatever
Oh,
spinner
nice.
you want. So
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
if you throw an extra or something in the back of your pickup
Mm-hmm.
truck, uh, and you don't have that, you don't want that spinner up against the glass of your pickup truck. So you just
Sure.
put that on the nose, and it protects the spinner, protects the airplane from banging into that tap tap
Sure.
tap on the
Yeah.
glass as you're
Exactly.
going
Cool.
down the road.
Pecking
And
you. Ding, 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 ding. I've
yeah,
heard that noise before. Hmm, that's funny.
so,
Well,
yeah.
that's very
So
very cool. And
yeah, so
how big do they come? Because like I have a couple airplanes with like 4-inch spinners.
they'll cover anything from 2 inches at the smallest to 4, 5, 6 inch.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
So 40% or so it would fit on one of those.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. Well, good. I have one sitting behind me.
yeah.
That
We
was.
used to like use old T-shirts or whatever, and it just
Mm-hmm.
never
Yeah.
worked. You know, but this one, it's a good little item.
Yeah, I've actually, I mean, for years I've used, Costco loves me because I'll go buy all of the microfiber towels and I'll roll them up and make them a little,
There you go.
put and stick them on. And then I have like bags of them. It looks like something exploded in my trailer. Like all these just rags went everywhere. And we're loading them up and I'll be like, hey, throw me a couple of those rags. And then I roll them up. And I actually, believe it or not, make these little straps, because I'll roll them just like this and then put them in there. So when Scott brought these tie, what is the official name of the strap covers?
Sleeve protectors.
Sleeve protectors. Okay.
Yeah,
They, yeah. So, yeah, when he brought these to me, I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So it was a good idea. So it was a very good idea. So I think those are probably going to order a couple of those too. Just because they were, he brought me a whole handful. He must have just grabbed a whole bunch. So we appreciate that too. So, well, this is very cool. And you were, where are you located, by the way? You're in Oklahoma somewhere, right?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Very, very
Go,
nice.
go Thunder.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing well.
Good night last
They,
night.
actually, there was some pretty severe weather there just a day or two ago. Hopefully that didn't affect you guys.
No,
Yeah.
always.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. That's I travel across the U.S. quite a bit, and yeah, I saw it out there, and I was just like, oh man, it's going to cause a whole lot of problems, but we were able to get around it.
Yeah,
But
most of
it
it's been to the east of us for the last few years. So
has it.
we've been
Yeah.
fortunate. Yeah.
Well, very, very good. That's awesome. So, well, if you were interested in some wing cradles or aircraft cradles or nose protectors or these sleeves that go on, what'd you call them again? The
Sleep protectors.
sleeve protectors. There you go. You can go to G.Willikers.com and check out Gary's products there. All right, it's G.Willikers Accessories, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, Aero
G.Willikers.com.
accessories.
Arrow
Oh,
accessories.
Aero Accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't read it with the light in my face. G.Willikers Aero Accessories.com. And then he makes the cradles and then has some Dubro products. It's a great product. I can vouch for it because I have it here. It's a really, really nicely made cradle. It much better than I could do on my own, but you can tell a lot of work and time and effort, went into it, and you've done a good job doing that. And we do appreciate that. So we will. There are, I think, later this year. Don't we have an event coming up, the Jet Rally or something, the Arizona Jet Rally.
In November,
But
yeah.
yeah, So I'm going to definitely mention that to the guys down there, because we got guys come from all over. And anytime you start getting into the bigger jets, it's always good to have cradles. And a lot of guys that, bring their jets down love those things. So we'll definitely push your product and get it out there. And
thank you very much.
I don't think you'll be inundated with millions of orders, but hopefully we'll get one or two of them for you to make it worth your time. So, well, we try to keep it short for the 30-minute time frame, so we're not burning up all your time. But Gary, thank you very much for joining us here on the Park Flyer Podcast. We are so happy that you took some time with us. I know it was a kind of a quick notice, but we do appreciate your flexibility. And thank you very much for sending that item to me so we could kind of demo it. It was very appreciative. I'm very impressed with it. So it's good word from the podcast. We really like your product. So,
but thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and like I said, we'll post it, and I think Shannon's got a post he can put out on our Facebook page that said we got the product, and I'll let him test it out as well. But Shannon, we got anything coming up this next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm heading off to Big Jolt in about 2 weeks.
Okay,
and
so
then
we got that coming.
I don't know if we were talking about going to the other Warbirds and Classics. If you got it,
I'm still looking for that. I got to take a little bit to get my schedule, so I moving stuff around.
We got time, but yeah, we got events coming up, and we'll definitely report on those and some aircraft updates. We'll do that the next episode.
Excellent. So, well, from here in Arizona, I'm Michael.
And Shannon G. Mesa AZ.
And we will see you in 2 weeks. Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.